And welcome back to the RMAC Baseball Weekly. I am Jace, the Media Manhattan. That's the RMAC Insider. Shout out to everybody who stepped in for me. Had to handle a couple things. Sir, how are you today?
Doing great, doing great. I didn't graduate this last weekend, so not as tired as you are, I'm sure, and didn't quite have that all the other stuff going on other than great baseball this last weekend. But yeah, I special thanks to Hunter Owens who stepped in and helped me the last couple weeks here with you kind of graduating and doing some of those unimportant things in life. But no, it's he did a great job. Former pitcher at Colorado Springs, and yeah, was just great. So can't thank him enough. But yeah, definitely glad to have you back. And it was an amazing weekend of the RMAC, you know, baseball conference tournament. Lots of great games, and we can kind of take a look at those, and then take a look at the national tournament that's coming up, you know, starting tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a lot going on, and when I could, I would check the scores of the tournament and things of that nature, but it was kind of hard for me to do so.
Oh, I
But
can't even
nonetheless, we
imagine.
were able to take a look, and I'll kind of let you run through the weekend. But first, let's take a look at the RMAC standings following really the weekend. Mesa finished it out at number one with only one RMAC loss. They do drop to five total losses. We'll get into that in a minute. Metro State Denver, they finished second in the RMAC. UCCS and Pueblo come in at third and fourth. Mines comes in at five. And then the Rangers of Regis, the Colorado Christian Cougars, the Grizzlies of Adams State, and the New Mexico Highlands Cowboys rounded out the RMAC at the end of the season. And, it was a busy weekend with the tournament. The six teams that were in were Mesa, Metro, Springs, Pueblo, Mines, and Regis. Those were the teams that were in the RMAC tournament. And that's kind of how the season rounded out. Those last four teams, Regis, Christian, Adams, and Highlands, they were all battling for that last spot. But ultimately, the Rangers had just enough to get over the hump and get into the tournament.
Yeah, they had a great showing in the tournament, especially in that first game. I think we're going to see that they end up scoring, if my memory serves me correct, which I'm getting old, so sometimes it doesn't. But I believe that they scored in two games 27 runs.
Yep.
27 runs and then go 0 for 2 in the tournament. That is rough. But I mean, shows that they're definitely a great team, worthy of being in the tournament, and they made it interesting. Yeah, we'll take a look at that in a bit, but also how about Colorado School of Mines? I mean, hats off to that program and what they did in this tournament run. It was
Right.
so memorable. It's going to be yeah, something I'll remember for years to come, and especially we'll get into it, but Alex Honeyman's last start of his collegiate career, and went out just you could have scripted any better than how it went.
Absolutely. As we take a look at the D2 baseball rankings by D2 Baseball, they've got the Mavericks of Colorado Mesa sitting at number one. And as we kind of get into this, we'll see teams. Angelo State's one of those that we'll talk about a few times. UT Tyler will be another one of those teams we'll talk about multiple times throughout this episode today. And really just, Mesa sits alone at top of number one.
Right, and when we start talking about this South Central uh, region bracket, UT Tyler, they're going to be the number 2 seed, so they're going to be hosting the portion of the regional bracket that has Angelo State, who's uh, the the 21st ranked team in the nation, uh, and then as we'll see MSU Denver, gets selected to make an appearance here and get into the tournament. So it's gonna be Angelo State and MSU Denver playing, and over down in UT Tyler's ball field. And then on the other end, we have the number one team in the nation, being the number one seed in the South Central Regional bracket with uh, St. Mary's and Lubbock Christian, in that. But yeah, we'll get to that after a bit here. But yeah, the first,
Definitely.
yeah, we have the
Definitely.
amazing tournament to recap and review here.
It will be. And let's go ahead and go into day one. I'll let you take it away from here. Kind of give us what you saw day one.
You bet. Day one, game one, we're going to have, MSU Denver in Colorado School of Mines and Marcus Abelhaus, and he does what he, did all year. He hit well, gets a 2-run home run, puts MSU Denver up 3-0. But, Tyler Easter in the bottom of the fourth, or top of the fourth, for Mines, he doubles. He clears the bases, bringing in 3 to tie it at 3-3. MSU Denver is going to then score 3 runs, in the fourth inning, capped off by Noah Wick's single. Then in the fifth inning, they're going to end up scoring 8 runs here, capped off by Royce Van Dyne's home run. You just, sat back and watched that one. Just absolute no doubter there. In the seventh, then, we have Tyler Hummel for Mines. He is a home run, bringing in 3, making it, cutting MSU Denver's lead 14-6. But here, Colorado School of Mines, they're going to lose this first game here 19-6, but they're going to go on a run here in this tournament after day one, and very impressive. But
yeah, I mean, the thing that I noticed when I was looking at these scores, it was like, I was only really able to check the scores, when I had a second to breathe. And I saw that score and I thought that's a better team than what that score shows. You notice, obviously Syverson threw well, 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, 3 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks, 3 Ks. But that Metro Denver, we've talked about it all. That lineup, we've talked about it all year. They just can swing it. They flat out can. They swing it. They do a very good job of swinging it. And so when you see the score, you think, oh, wow, Mines didn't play very well. No, that's not the case. They faced a very good hitting team, and Syverson threw well. And when those two things come together, Metro's a dangerous team, especially as we get later into the tournament here.
Yep, definitely. And yeah, Syverson, he had a great year all year. Not surprising at all that he pitched great, and that, Colorado School of Mines is going to have problems, hitting against him. I mean, 6 innings, 1 hit. That's not right. But, 3 earned runs is, that is correct. But yeah, it was a great outing, for him. Royce Van Dyne, 2 for 3 with a double and a 3-run home run. He just kind of continued, his great season into this first game of the tournament. And yeah, MSU Denver, they, got off to a good start and put Colorado Mines in the losers bracket on day one. But yeah, as we'll see, Mines wasn't fazed by that. They kept going here.
Not at all. And the next games we're going to talk about are Pueblo UCCS. And I was really interested to see how UCCS was going to come out with it being Coach Hadjick's last RMAC tournament.
Yeah, and, they did very well. Here, Ruben Blasco, he hits a 2-run home run, giving Colorado Springs a 3-0 lead. Tyler Genrich then is going to hit a solo shot. Not much doubt about that one, making it 4-1. Then going into the top of the 5th, Jeremiah Sanchez, he doubles to left center, just drops nicely in that gap there, cutting Colorado Springs' lead to 6-2. Then in the bottom of the 6th, James Harbison, who's had a great year all year for Colorado Springs, he hits a solo home run. All Latino can do is just watch that one leave the park. And then, bottom of the 8th, Tyler Genrich, when that one left the bat, I had the movie Major League, kind of going through my head here, just too high. I mean, that just looked like it was going to be a pop-up, maybe to the, shortstop, but geez, he sure got it. And just went out of the park. But Colorado Springs, they win this one pretty good here, 15-3.
Yeah, I'm back in Fruta, which is about 15 minutes from Grand Junction, so I'm back home right now. Let me tell you something. I don't know what it is about this place, but I look at this place in Highlands. There's going to be baseballs that'll get hit here, and I played here in high school. I played here quite a bit in my life, and there'd be times I'd hit one and be like, "Oh, it's too high. Cool, okay," and then it'd leave the yard. I mean, I only had 2 career home runs in my life, but one of them I hit. I was like, "Oh, that's a sac fly, bases loaded, sac fly. Heck yeah, RBI." And I look at the umpire and he's going like this. I'm like, "Oh, hey." That was definitely not what I thought it was. I thought it was too high, but yeah, I mean, sometimes the ball here carries, especially like during the day is when you really see it carry a lot more is during the day. I think it's because it's kind of a dry, high desert here.
Mhm.
So the ball carries out here, Grand Junction, this area a lot more than what a lot of people think. They can say it's elevation all they want, but when you go to Highlands, you're at 6,800 feet and it still flies like that. So it's really interesting during the day. The day games were kind of like a lot of runs being scored. And this is another one that, Pueblo, it looks like they're turning the corner, then they struggle, then they turn the corner again, and they struggle again. And I think this was one of those games, threw well, 17 pitch, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 of those uh, 2 off 7 Ks. I mean, the 7 Ks is a big one. He was in and around the zone, getting a lot of swing and misses on that. And UCCS takes this one convincingly.
Yeah, they do. And the sad thing for Pueblo, what you would anticipate being the bad thing for Pueblo going into the start of this tournament is, you lose this game, you're going to end up playing the winner of, the Mesa, Regis game. And, you kind of have to anticipate that Mesa is going to win that one. And you're sitting here looking at, oh, wow, we're, double elimination tournament. We lose the first one to Colorado Springs, then we play Mesa. And you're kind of thinking, we could be going home in day 2 here. But, they bounce back well, as we'll see as we move into day 2. But yeah, we'll take a look at that Mesa, Regis game.
Absolutely. We'll take a look at that Mesa Regis game, and I'll let you take it away.
You bet. So, here we're, in the first inning, Regis ends up scoring 5 in the top of the first. I mean, that's gotta, kind of put a little, lump in the throats of the, Maverick faithful. But of course, the Mavericks aren't going to be held down for long. We have Colby Felix, the player of the year. He hits a solo shot. Basically they cut that to within 1 at 5-4 after 1. Then Ethan Wood in the top of the second, he's just a stud. 2-run home run. They go up 7-4. At the end of the second, Mesa cuts it within 1. Then, in the third, Regis goes up 2. At the end of the third, behind Landon Nunez solo shot, Mesa cuts it to 1. The top of the fourth, Aiden Harrison, he doubles for Regis, bringing in an RBI to go along with his home run earlier in the year. Regis can go up 3, but then in the bottom of the 7th, Joey Blank, he hits a double, bringing in 2 runs, and Mesa, at this point in the bottom of the 7th, takes their first lead at 11-10, and they end up winning this one 12-10.
Yeah, and this is kind of the only game that we saw that was within, less than, 12 runs, I believe. This one came as a surprise. I was, kind of following along on the live stats when I wasn't having to talk to 50 different people. And, it's like, Regis, we've talked about this before. They're a sneaky team. They'll catch you sleeping a little bit. They're going to catch you sleeping. And if they do and they get it right, you're going to have problems. I mean, Seaward went, is that 2/3 innings pitched?
No, actually, 0.2. It was 2/3 inning. Sorry, Jace.
Yeah,
right.
2/3 of an. Okay, I had to make sure I read that right. And we didn't really see that a lot from him this year. And Regis can swing the bat. I saw that when they came down and played New Mexico Highlands down there, and Parker Omni played well. Obviously, former teammate of mine. That's a team that can swing the bat really, really well. And a lot of people don't tend to realize this team can swing it. And if they catch you sleeping, they're very dangerous. Obviously, Mesa was able to pull it out going. The 5th was scoreless for Regis. The 6th was scoreless. 7th, 8th, the 9th was all scoreless for Regis. And the Mavericks were able to get 2 in the 7th and 1 in the 8th. That was going to ultimately be the difference, was those 2 runs right there. Because, you had the 5 in the first, the 4 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 2 in the fourth. I feel like an auctioneer when I do that. And then after that, it was really those scoreless innings, 5 through 9, that helped Mesa get this win.
Yep. Yeah, I'm sitting here watching this game, and yeah, Regis goes up 5 right away. It's like, oh, wow. I mean, this could be interesting, But yeah, you knew Mesa was going to, do their thing. But, they score 4, so they bring it within 1. And then you see, like, each inning there through the 4th inning, Regis is going to get a, increase the lead, and then Mesa is going to cut that to 1, but they never quite, get that tie or get that lead, until we get to the 7th inning there. And, I think that kind of, huge exhale, could be heard, you know, coming out of that stadium there at that point. And, but yeah, I mean, Mesa, they had the target on their back, and they had that the entire tournament here. And Regis, the 6th seed, showed up, and boy, they made it a battle for Mesa, that's for sure.
I know our boy Dean Allen definitely exhaled. I know he definitely exhaled when they got that lead. Dean is, he's great, man. But yeah, so we go into day 2, and I'll let you get us going.
You bet. So, day 2, I mean, this one was an amazing game. We have Regis versus Colorado School of Mines. We started at 10-7 in the 5th inning. Ethan Wood, he had a 3-run shot, but Alex Dunnigan here for School of Mines, he has a 3-run shot in the bottom of the 5th to make it 13-10. Regis Linus Fleek, he doubles to left field, bringing in an RBI, making it 14-10. Then going into the 7th, Tyler Pena, he doubles to left center, bringing in 2 runs. It kind of bounces off the wall there, and Colorado School of Mines ties this one up at 14-14 in the 7th. In the 8th, Alex Dunnigan, he does this thing again. He hits a home run to right field. All the right fielder can do is just watch it. And Colorado School of Mines, they're going to come back. They're going to win this one 19-17 with winning that first game in that losers bracket to advance then out of day 2 to go into day 3.
Yeah, and hats off to the Rangers, man. They had a great season. I mean, they were fighting for that last spot. They got the wins when they needed them to get into the tournament. Then they just, unfortunately, the RMAC baseball tournament is a buzzsaw. Unfortunately, right? So you run into teams, they run into the 1 seed in Mesa in the first day. Then they run into a Mines team who definitely was not happy with the way they played that first game against Metro. And it's just a buzzsaw from there. And, so hats off to them. They had a phenomenal season, and they just were able to get it done.
Yeah, and, looking at the box score here, Tyler Pena for Colorado School of Mines, going 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs, a double, home run, a 3-run home run. But Alex Dunnigan, I mean, just great. 4 for 5, 8 RBIs. I know I have a double in there, but you also have that home run as well. But yeah, he had a great year. And, this really kind of sparked, it's kind of turned out to, looking like it's going to be a Cinderella, run here in the tournament here.
Yeah, it was. And the next game we're going to talk about was a shocker to a lot of people, I feel like, when you take a look at it.
Yeah, without a doubt. In the top of this 5th inning here is, Pueblo has the lead, Pueblo is down 2-1, but Jason Ariola, he hits a home run to right field. Then Jimmy Pelletier, he hits a home run to left center, just an absolute no-doubter. Pueblo's going to go up 1 at that point. In the bottom of the 7th, we have Colby Felix. He doubles to right field. Rocco DiFrancesco scores. Then, let's take a look at this next play, Jace. I don't know if you're able to see this one or not, but in the top of the 6th, this is Dax Howard. He hits this one, gets the center fielder kind of off his feet. It hits off the wall. And Dax has speed. The bases were loaded here, and they're all coming in. Dax is, right there, dives in, and inside the park grand slam. I'm not sure if I've ever seen an inside the park grand slam before. I've obviously seen inside the park home runs, but inside the park grand slams, that's something special. In the 9th, Landon Nunez here, he's going to hit a sacrifice fly to tie it up, at 8-8. And, it's kind of looking all right. Mesa's, probably going to end up, walking this off. In the top of the 10th, we see Pueblo's Jeremiah Sanchez. He is a single into right field. That's going to bring in Dax Howard. And, while Colby Felix is able to gun down Devin Alvarez at home, Pueblo still goes up by that 1 run there. And, Mesa, they don't respond in the bottom of the 10th inning. And, yeah, the shocker, I mean, it was for me. I'm sure that those down in Pueblo and the Pueblo faithful saw it and called it from the beginning. But I didn't see this one playing out this way. But yeah, hats off to Pueblo. I mean, absolutely great game. Like I said before, looking at that first round, you lose to that game, and you're looking at one loss going into day two, where you're probably going to end up playing Mesa, and you're concerned that yeah, we're going home after day two. But yeah, not these Thunderwolves. They, like I said, Mesa had the target on their back, and everybody came out to play them, and we just played them tough, and Pueblo ended up taking them down here, 9-8.
Yeah, I think I texted everybody that I might know that's follows RMAC baseball and was like, "Hey, Pueblo just beat Mesa," and everybody was like, "Oh, is this panic? Do you hit the panic button?" It's like, no, you don't hit the panic button with Mesa because they're gonna bounce back, and we'll see that later on. But yeah, this was a good game for the Thunderbolts. Definitely, coming out hitting the ball well. Obviously, that inside the park grand slam. That's you know incredible. Yeah, Howard's got incredible speed. I got to see that when uh, Cowboys played him earlier this year down in Pueblo. But I mean, it's unbelievable to see that inside the park grand slam. Eisenhower, he threw well all year. He still got 5 Ks in that one, but at the end of the day, it's just going to be who can score the more runs at the most timely times. And in this one, it just happened to be CSU Pueblo.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the runs per inning here, pretty even, pretty consistent. The one that's stands out, is that eighth inning, that 4 spot there, and you end up winning by one, and you hit it inside the park grand slam. I mean, yeah, Pueblo. My guess is Dax Howard, when he's of drinking age, probably isn't going to have to buy too many drinks, in Pueblo.
That wouldn't surprise me at all. As we head into the last game, that one took a while, so this one started pretty late.
Yes, it did. It started at 9 o'clock, in fact. So, yeah, here we have MSU Denver and UCCS, and in the third, Marcus Abelhausen. He hits, a double down the right field line. I'm not sure how that one stayed fair, but it did. Then in the fourth, Caden Gonzalez for Colorado Springs. He singles to right center, just past the, diving second baseman, putting Colorado Springs on the board. In the top of the fourth, Braden Orem, he hits a home run for MSU Denver, uh, basically increasing that lead 4-1. In the sixth, it's going to be Orem again, hitting his second of the year, or second of the game, excuse me. Another solo shot, to left center, making it 5-2. And yeah, it started late, it ended late, it ended around midnight. I was having a lot of difficulty with my, old age, staying up that late, but I'm glad I did. And yeah, it was a great game. A little different than some of the other games that, we've been seeing. But, for MSU Denver to hold Colorado Springs to, just 2 runs was basically a phenomenal feat for them. Um, yeah, hats off to MSU Denver, with that win. It was very impressive. And yeah, they moved on to day three and put UCCS down in the losers bracket after that.
Yeah, and when you're waiting as long as you are as a pitcher, that's tough. I know, Ryder Mancuso is a local kid from out here in the western slope of Colorado. So, I know that he was excited to get out there and be able to pitch in front of the home crowd that he had and his family and friends and whatnot. And, it's tough when you have to wait as long as he did to get up on the mound and start throwing and get going. And, but then again, we talked about it. Metro State Denver, that's a team that can swing the bat really, really well.
Yeah, they can, and they did. And, Marcus Abelhausen, he's had a great year. Noah Wicks, phenomenal year. Yeah, Orem in this game, a double and 2 home runs. That's a pretty good outing. So yeah, it's kind of had that recipe for a win there, and they got it.
They did indeed. As we take a look at day three, we take a look here. We're going to see Mesa taking on UCCS, who fell into the losers bracket here in day three.
Yeah, so that game gets over that they, fell to MSU Denver at midnight, and they're playing the first game, the next morning against Mesa. I mean, talk about a rough schedule here. In Mesa, they're going to jump out to a 9-0 lead. I mean, we have Tate Blasey, He had a double that brought in 2. Then he had a 2-run home run. Then Colby Felix in the 5th, he has a RBI double. Keegan Landis, he came all the way around from first base there. I mean, that's speed. Then you have Blasey here again hitting his second home run of the game. This one another solo shot to left field instead of right field this time. In the 8th, Mesa's Trevor T. He doubles down the left field line, bringing in 2 to make it 11-1. In the 9th, UCCS's Matthew Shipley. He has a 2-run shot. I mean, that one's just gone well into the parking lot there. I can kind of see it ricocheting off of a pickup. But yeah, Mesa, they responded kind of how we thought they would. Kind of recalling back to that last series of the regular season that Mesa had against MSU Denver. They dropped that first game to MSU Denver, and after that, Mesa just shut them down. It's almost like they just came back with a vengeance. And kind of the same thing here. They dropped that game to Pueblo in day 2, and yeah, they took that personally. They don't end up, against a very good Colorado Springs team, getting a convincing statement win here.
Yeah, it definitely was. And, hats off to Coach Hadjic, had a phenomenal career. In his time, he rebuilt that UCCS program from the ground up, and they were able to get, one win out of it. But as you head into game 2 of the day, you get Mines and Pueblo, and this one was going to be a dogfight for sure.
It definitely was going to be. And I'll tell you what, for all we have here for highlights is Alex Honeyman, because I think he deserves all the highlights that we can give him here. He was absolutely phenomenal. Senior, 4-year player at Colorado School of Mines. Great career as a collegiate baseball player. This year, he has some injuries, dealing with some issues with his shoulder, but he came in to this game and he ends up pitching a complete 9-inning game, giving up just 4 hits, 1 run, which was an earned run, not issuing a single walk, and striking out 8. And, basically just willing Colorado School of Mines to a 13-1 win over Pueblo. And again, this was a Pueblo team that coming into this tournament, they really had turned things around. This Pueblo team coming into the tournament here was a team that I expected to see, the entire season. So for, Honeyman to come in and have the outing and the pitching performance that he had, I mean, just absolutely phenomenal. Hats off to him. Can't be happier for him.
Absolutely, yeah. And let's go ahead. Let's just play that Honeyman clip of his post-game interview.
Yeah, this is great. Sorry, Alex, but I had to throw this up here. So,
how do you stay focused and stay disciplined up on the mound?
It's kind of gross, but once I throw it before the game, I'm usually good to go. I just got to get that out, and then it just kind of, I'm back.
Hey, whatever works. Well, thank you so much.
In the best of sort of reaction, like she was not expecting that at all.
No, she definitely was not at all. No, shout out to Ella, man. She's great. I'm going to have the opportunity to work with her during the JUCO World Series here in town. So I'll have that opportunity to work with her. I'm definitely going to have to ask her about that interview for sure, and what her thought process was when that answer was given, and go from there. And this next game, this was one I was really interested to see.
Yeah, it was a good one here too. So day 3, game 3, we have Mesa playing their second game of the day, against MSU Denver here. So Michael Dietz, he gets things going for MSU Denver. It's a home run in the 4th to tie it at 1-1. Then Tate Blasey, he hits a sac fly in the 5th. Colby Felix, he tagged up to tie it at 2-2 in the 7th. Kendi Hara, he singles, hits a hot shot right to right field. He brings in a run, making it 4-2. Mesa ends up scoring the last 7 runs, in this one. Colby Felix, the player of the year, he hits a home run that easily clears. Then, Joey Blank here, he hits one, a 3-run shot out to left center, making it 9-2. And yeah, Mesa, and they end up winning this one 10-2. Kind of like I said, they lost that game to Pueblo, just like they lost that first game in that last series to MSU Denver, and they took it personally. They just shut an amazing MSU Denver team, a team that is making the national tournament. You know, held them just 2 runs, and put up 10 on 15 hits against them. That's that's why Mesa is the #1 team in the nation.
Absolutely. And yeah, that was that was their only conference loss was to this Metro State Denver team. And, absolutely. They took that personally. They saw it as a challenge and they came out and they answered the calling. When you're the #1 team in the nation, teams are going to come at you with everything they got. And you've got to answer the phone. You can't have somebody else answer it. You've got to answer the phone. And right there they did. And that took us into day 4, which was just going to be, I don't know how else to put it other than a dogfight.
Yes, and game 1 we have MSU Denver then taking on Colorado School of Mines, and you're kind of thinking MSU Denver is going to have that same reaction that Mesa had, where we dropped this one, we're coming back with a vengeance here, and it just kind of wasn't meant to be. Alex Dunnigan there, he had a home run, a solo shot to right field to tie it at 2-2 in the first. Then in the third, Tyler Pina for home run. He gets a 2-run shot. He extends the lead at that point to 6-3. But MSU Denver's Jared Swarbrick, he hits a 3-run shot of his own. He ties it up at 6-6. But Mines, they respond. Parker hits a solo shot in the fourth. Then Brody Duvall, he doubles down the left field line. He's going to bring in a run in, going to make it 8-6. Then Alex Dunnigan here, he hits a 2-run shot over the right field wall. It's 10-6. After 4. In the fifth, Gavin Schmay for Metro. He hits a single to left, bringing in Royce Van Dyne. Then in the sixth again, Gavin Schmay, he hustles to avoid the double play there, and MSU Denver, they're going to end up, Colorado School of Mines, they're going to end up winning this one 13-11. And kind of continuing that Cinderella run like we were talking about, after losing that first game in day 1, they go on a nice little streak here, win this first game on day 4. That's going to then put them into the championship game and game 2 on day 4 here against Mesa.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's about when you get hot. Not how, but when. If you get hot at the right time, we saw that, College World Series, the year Ole Miss won it, at the Division I level. You get hot at the right time, teams are going to do things. They're going to get hot at the right time. And when they do, you got to be ready for them. And, that took us into, championship game, Colorado Mesa. I mean, it was winner take all in this one.
It was. Both of them having one loss here. And, here we have, Colorado School of Mines. They end up going up 4-0, after 1. Tyler Pina there, we saw that RBI singled into right. Then in the second, Mesa's Landon Nunez, he gets hit by a pitch. In that second inning, it was kind of like, what's Colorado Mines doing here? I mean, they, give up a run on a pass ball. They get, hit by a pitch, to score another run. In the third, Jack Lappiner, he hits a home run to right center. I mean, the outfielders didn't run very far on that one. It was a no-doubter, from the beginning here. And here in the fifth, Tyler Pina for Colorado School of Mines, he has a nice sacrifice fly. He ties it at 5-5. But Joey Blank, he responds with a solo shot. And then Rocco DiFrancesco, he doubled down the right field line, clearing the bases as he ends up scoring 3 here to make that Mesa lead then 11-5. But, Mines, they're not going away. In the seventh, Tyler Pina, again, he gets another sacrifice fly. This one to right field as opposed to left field as he did earlier. But Mesa, they're Mesa. In the ninth, Landon Nunez, he gets another home run here, gets a 2-run shot. Woke up some spectators out there outside the right field fence there. Here in the bottom of the ninth, Tyler Pina, he responded. I mean, just absolutely crushed this one, to right field. Just, impressive. In the bottom of the ninth, Alex Dunnigan, he singles to left field. He's going to bring in 2 runs here, but it's too little, too late here for Carl Mines. Their Cinderella run comes to an end as Mesa wins it 20-11, and they take the not only the RMAC regular season championship or champions, but also become the RMAC Conference Tournament champions.
And another ring for the Mavericks, just one more ring to add to the trophy case for them as they continue on in the playoffs. They'll be the #1 seed. But, I mean, hats off to all these teams. They had a great season. We'll see, obviously, Colorado Mesa. We'll see Metro State Denver. They'll get to continue their seasons. Colorado Mines season will come to an end with this one. But, I mean, hats off to all these teams. They played phenomenal baseball through the RMAC regular season, through the out-of-conference schedule, through the RMAC tournament. Just a great great weekend, great week of baseball in the RMAC as they continue.
Definitely. Carl School Mines, the run that they made here in this tournament, like I said, at the beginning of the show here, it's going to be one that I'll remember for years to come, especially Alex Honeyman's performance in day 3. I mean, that 9-inning complete game, just absolutely phenomenal. And then you look at those guys in that box were there: Alex Dunnigan, Evan Bilter, Tyler Pina, Jackson Babcock, Luke Parker, Roy Duvall, Tyler. I mean, those are names that we talked about all season. I mean, those are just phenomenal baseball players, and they made a phenomenal run. As always, I mean, that's kind of the tough part about college sports is that not only does the season end, but as fans, you're not going to get to see a lot of these guys ever play again, and it's bittersweet. Glad we're able to watch guys like Alex Honeyman and have a great career, but now that it's come to an end, it's just a little just kind of pulls at the heartstrings a little bit.
Absolutely, and that'll lead us into the regionals, and we'll take a look at the Roadrunners regional bracket and what they've got to do headed into this one. They're going to have a tough road. You're going to play an Angelo State team first, and if you win that one, you'll play UT Tyler for that one. But Angelo State, they've got an interesting little story. They're in the Lone Star Conference. They come out of it, but they win a game while getting no hit. In a playoff game, they got no hit, and they won the game.
That's what winners do. You find a way to win. Things aren't kind of going your way, but you find a way to manufacture some runs here, and that's winners find a way to win. And Angelo State, they've been a very good program in the Lone Star Conference, and one of the best in the nation for last 3-4 years now. I think it was, we were kind of talking about a little bit before we started here, but I think it was 3 years ago, if I remember correctly, they won it all. But then UT Tyler here, I mean, they won the Lone Star regular season champs, and then they won the tournament as well. So they get that #2 seed. They're the 8th ranked team, maybe the 9th ranked team in the nation. This is, we saw Angelo State as the 21st, I believe it was, ranked team in the nation. This is a tough poll here for MSU Denver, but kind of we've talked about all year. MSU Denver, they got the bats that they can put up runs, and if they show up, Royce Van Dyne, Alec Martinez, I mean, Marcus Abelhausen, I mean, they can put up runs. They can do some damage in here, and would love nothing more than to see them playing in Grand Junction, a week from tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. And, it's a tough poll for MSU Denver, but this is a battle-tested team. And like you said, they have the bats to do it. Angelo State's going to be a tough one. And then having to face UT Tyler, who has been a really good program all year for everybody, really. I mean, to play. And, as you said, Angelo State, they won the national championship a couple years back. So they probably have a few guys that have been in this situation. We know UT Tyler has guys that have been in this situation. But that's the thing about tournament baseball is it's when you get hot. If you get hot at the right time, that's when things are going to get really interesting.
And that's what Colorado School of Mines showed that last weekend. You know, they got hot at the right time. They, dropped that first game, but then they go on a magnificent run there, get into the championship game. And MSU Denver, they're definitely a team that is built for a good tournament run here. You got great pitching. Jake Iverson, he's going to be probably pitching game one here. You got great bats. That UT Tyler team, they kind of swept a lot of the regular season awards, and they got the player of the year in Cole Kessner. They got the pitcher of the year in Julio Garcia. They got the coaching staff of the year. They got 4 guys named to first team all conference, 2 to second team, 2 to third team. They're going to be a handful, but it's going to be fun to watch. I think, I hope that MSU Denver takes a page out of Colorado School Mines playbook, and they give us a regional run here that we'll remember for a long time to come as well.
Yeah, definitely. And while that'll be taking place in Tyler, Texas, right down the road from me, right here in Grand Junction, St. Mary's of Texas and Lubbock Christian will battle it out to see who faces Colorado Mesa before we get a very fun, what should be a very fun regional.
Yeah, definitely. You look at this, and after we look at that first bracket with Angelo State and UC Tiger, you're thinking, oh, wow, this is a lot easier bracket. But boy, Lubbock Christian and St. Mary's, they both had great years. I mean, great, years that the programs are gonna look back on as great years, and kind of a building block, stepping stone for them and their programs. And it's gonna be one of those things too where it really doesn't matter who plays Mesa, whether it's Regis or Pueblo or Colorado School of Mines or St. Mary's or Lubbock Christian. They have that target on their back, and they know that they need to come out to play, because if they don't, they're gonna get surprised. Whether it's kind of like they did with MSU Denver, or like they did with Pueblo on day 2. But yeah, MSU Denver, or excuse me, Colorado Mesa, they great pitching. I think Reuter, Eisenhower, Espinoza, Seward. I think they're all going to have great outings here in the regional and super regional round, and yeah, I fully expect and anticipate them to win this regional bracket and get into that super regional round, and be hosting one of those 3 teams. And like I said, I really, really hope it's MSU Denver. Would love to see it.
Yeah, definitely. And it'll be kind of one of those things that we're going to watch that, okay, is this team the team that everybody's expecting them to be in Colorado Mesa and come out and put up a lot of runs and put up a good pitching performance? And yeah, while it looks like it's an easier bracket, it's really not, because it's all about, when do you get hot? Do you get hot at the right time? And can you come out and put on a performance that's going to help you boost into the supers? And, we could see any one of those 3 teams that we saw in that bracket that Metro State Denver's in the supers. And we could see any one of these 3 teams also in the supers. It's going to be a very interesting weekend in this region, in the South Central Regional, that is going to put together, good teams that all can battle it out, day, night, in and out. It's going to be a fun one to watch. And, Colorado Mesa's battle tested. They play in this conference in the RMAC. They also, aren't strangers to playoff baseball. This is nothing new for them at all.
No, I mean, they've made the national tournament, this regional round, for maybe a decade straight. I mean, it's a ridiculous number. Yeah, I totally expect them to show up. I mean, Kobe Felix, he had an absolutely phenomenal tournament. Not only the regular season player of the year, but also the conference tournament MVP. You have him kind of leading the way. Then you got, superstars like, Cameron Cartwright and Joey Blank and Rocco DiFrancesco. Ezra Farmer, you can go down the line. Candy Hara. It's just amazing, who they can bring up to the plate. Jackson Lappiner, he had an amazing, last couple games in the tournament, and really kind of helped, MSU Denver, Mesa at the plate when, a couple times where they're, maybe a little cold. The kid came in and he was phenomenal. Hit the cover off the thing. Talk about getting hot at the right time. And Mesa's been hot all season. They have the target on the back. I think them losing, a game, 2 games the last, couple weeks here is a good thing, for them. Hey, I remembered how much losing sucks and how much they don't want to do it anymore. So, strap it on. Here we go.
Yeah, and this is definitely, it's going to be a fun regional to watch, and just all the way around, it's going to be good baseball. These are teams that are battling for a national championship. Emotions are going to be high. Everything's going to be hot. It's going to be something. It's going to be something to watch going forward as this thing kicks off tomorrow. About less than 24 hours from now, things are going to kick off and get going, and that's kind of all I got really for you.
And that's gonna, that Mesa game, that's gonna start at, it's 8 Eastern, so it'll be 6 Mountain Time here, and then what do we have for MSU Denver? That'd be 4 Eastern, so 2 o'clock.
So 2.
Yep. So I might have to cancel a couple of appointments and get home tomorrow afternoon and watch the Roadrunners take on Angelo State here. I think it's gonna be a another great weekend of Division II baseball, and a couple of great RMAC teams battling other great D2 teams across the nation.
It definitely will be, and make sure you guys catch all those games. I believe the regional hosted at Mesa will be on the RMAC network, if I'm not mistaken, and the regional out of Tyler, Texas will be on the Lone Star Network. So make sure you guys check those out. Give those a watch. It's going to be a great weekend of baseball. Once again, just want to thank you, sir, for putting this all together. Everything you guys see, I really just kind of show up and talk. He does all the hard lifting and putting the graphics together and the videos. And so thank you for that. Shout out to you. And thank you to the guys that filled in for me while I was taking care of business to have a degree to my name at this point now. So
yes, congratulations. And if anyone gets a chance, definitely go on to Instagram and take a look at Jace's post here. You got to give the speech at the commencement ceremony, and did a wonderful job, which doesn't surprise me at all. And that's why love having you on here with me, because I know whenever I stumble or stutter or stop, you just pick it up and go. It's absolutely phenomenal, remarkable, the talent that you have and the ability to, keep things going. It's impressive. So definitely glad to have you back.
I appreciate it.
For sure. So
yeah, and as long as there's an RMAC team in the tournament, we're going to be back here every week talking about it and telling you all we can tell you about that team. And for the Instagram, I'll throw it out there, JACEHINTONCO on Instagram, man. That's pretty much all my social platforms if you want to go look for them. It's all the same, username for pretty much everything. So make sure you check it out. Appreciate you, Mr. Insider, for putting this together and doing your thing. And we'll see y'all next time right after the regional.
Thanks, Jace. See everyone later.
Thank you.